Welcome, everyone, to Manga Palate, the show where we attempt to put things into terms of food. I am Pastis Luna with my co-host here.
Manga Chef Isaiah
And
in the house.
oh, really? That's it? Okay, yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah. This episode's gonna be off the Chizane. Is that where we're going with this?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
sigil. Alright, I probably shouldn't say this.
Alright. Here's what's up. He chose. I'm not gonna say we, because that wasn't I was like, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you'd say for this week, just like you're stuck with me next week. He chose the first season of High School DxD.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. High School DxD Season 1 ran from January 6, 2012 to March 23rd, 2012. And also worth mentioning, at this moment in time, the 4th season is airing. That show's alive. And I think we're going to talk about why we both think it's alive.
I think there's only one reason.
Yeah, okay. So here's what I have to say. It's one of those shows that's based on a bunch of light novels. So, kind of explains how they have, like, an endless amount of shit going on for, like, narrative. Because the guy's still writing the books.
Oh, really?
Yep. As far as the cast is concerned, while the lead girl, Ria Scramori, is voiced by Yoko Hikasa, which I think I've mentioned her before, but I doubt you remember. She's Hoki Shinonono from Infinite Strato. She's Kirigiri from Danganronpa. She was Mio on fucking K-On! And personally for me, besides Shinonono and Kirigiri, is Eiuga Zakirin from Konojo ga Fly wo Oraretara, which if you don't know what that is, you're going to eventually, if you continue to listen to us.
Yeah.
The lead guy is Issei Hyodo, voiced by Yuki Kaji. So, okay, Yuki Kaji, he's, most of you people probably know him as Eren Yeager from fucking Shingeki no Kyojin. I actually remember him as Finian, the effeminate, skinny, sort of gay kid from Kuroshitsuji, but it's more accurate to say everyone on the show is kind of gay. Also, he's the buddy, Michael Shu on Nisekoi, and he's doing one of the characters in Noragami. So, yeah, person, doing stuff. I'm only going to list the main characters and, like, one extra one because, oh shit, look at that. Asia Argento is voiced by Azumi Asakura, who, mind if I say, has not had a lot of work. Like, I was looking at her credits, not that much, but I think we would both know her as Yukiho, the shy, nervous girl from Idolmaster. Keno Himejima is voiced by Shizuka Ito, who we've already went over this because she was in one of the other shows, but because I know you don't remember anything. She was Hilda in Beelzebub, and she was in Ryokyubu, and she's the lead girl in Hayate the Combat Butler, or whatever the fuck that thing was called, I forget. Yuto Kiba, the guy friend, is by Ken Ojima, which he's been working for a long time. He's not, and the guy friend is Yuto. He's voiced by Kenji Nojima, who he's been working since 90 flat, like 1990. I'll admit he hasn't done a lot of things I know or care about, but the thing that I remember him for is he's Jade, who is the student of Brocken Jr. from Kinikuma Nisei, which I think you guys might know is Ultimate Muscle. That's what it came over in America, right? Yeah, I think so. And last but not least of the little friend group is Koreko Tojo. Alright. So I want to make a point about this girl. her voice actress is someone we both know very well, if not only because of this that we're doing now, but because we're fans of all of the shit she does. And I just have to say, wow, I did not instantly recognize her. Like I was like, oh, her voice is kind of familiar, but it could have been like three other ladies. It was Ayana Taketatsu.
Oh, really? You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't picture it. I don't know.
No, because like you hear her so often that we're like, oh, I kind of know what her voice sounds like at this point. But like this was Ayana Taketatsu, and I was like, oh, she does a good job playing the little girl role. Because fuck, I didn't notice that instantly at all. Which I guess she had some practice with Azusa, but like not enough to sound like this. And the other thing I want to bring up, the other two, they're peripheral characters. Their characters have like one line ever in the whole show. As a matter of fact, they bring one of them up in the first episode. Katase is voiced by Yui Ogura, who is part of the duo Yui Kaori. Yui Kaori was the voice actress pop duo that did the theme songs for Kiss Exist. And Yui Ogura is the voice of Rom from Nep Nep. Also, Nene on fucking Hajimeta no Gyaru. But that's more for me, because I know you didn't see that.
I did see that.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you know I saw it.
I don't remember, no. I actually don't. We talk about so many things. Like, I forget what you have and haven't seen sometimes, because I'll ask you, and then you'll go, no, and I go, but I thought, and then it won't fucking matter. By the way, her friend, her, I guess, duet partner, Kaori Ishihara, is also here for, like, a single line. I didn't write down who she was because, like I said, one person, but she did Ram, the other half of the duo that makes the DS and Nep Nep. Also, she's the little boy from Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon. The boy whose name is literally Boy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for like the voice actors. So a couple of them like, oh shit, I know that person. But a couple of the other ones are like, oh, you've done a lot of things that I just don't know or care about.
To be fair, I don't think we really care about the show either. So, this show.
Yeah, well, see, this is kind of where I wanted to go. All right, so watching the show, it's pretty easy to explain. Guy's huge pervert. Girl asks him out. Girl turns out to be like super evil, and then tries to kill him. And then when he's dying, he goes, "I don't want to die." And then someone says, "You won't die, but you're gonna have to belong to me as a demon now." And he goes, "Okay, cool." And sort of, more or less, it becomes more about him working as a demon under the person who turned him into a demon. Right? That's pretty much it. As far as, like, what's going on. So this is the thing. I read the manga, like, to a fault, and then I just dropped off because I wasn't super invested. So when I caught up, I just forgot about it ever again. And I realized something. So it's mostly like Goofy hijinks, go do a fight thing. Goofy hijinks, go do a fight thing, right? It's like Rosario to Vampire. But do you know what it is? The fight thing comes up more and more as time goes on, like Nejima. And it gets to the point where the fight thing sort of overrides the background Goofy hijinks on the romantic stuff. And I think that if we could eliminate the fight thing instead, I actually would be really into this.
Yeah, me too. If they didn't have the stupid, like,
if the fight
and stuff.
If the fight thing, like, okay, so first it starts with, alright, so like I said, the guy becomes a demon, it turns out that the villains are angels. Oh, yeah, that's ironic. I think you guys are familiar with the idea, and then the good guy was actually the bad guy the whole time. That's like 70,000 different things. Doesn't matter. The point is, like, the first thing that happens is he gets fucking wrecked by an angel, and then he turns into a demon so that he doesn't have to die. And he's a huge perv. So, like, he has a lot of internal monologues that are like, look at her lips and thighs and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can see where some people are like, I get this guy. This guy's great. I'm not totally on board, but I think I'm not totally on board because I don't like how direct it is. If it were more like Tudebudu, where the guy's like, this is happening. I refuse to participate, but if it happens, I'm fucked. Or like I said, Rosario to Vampire, where Sukuna is not actively trying to do things, but like it happens. It happens nevertheless. I think I'd like him more, but I think that's because I like that super nice guy. Whereas his thing is like he's a gross creepy perv, but when it comes down to it, he's a good guy. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's the point of a hero, yeah?
Yeah.
All of his like Kinnikuman, who I brought up earlier, was like a huge coward and a crybaby bitch. But when it comes to when it comes right down to it, and his friends just got like the shit kicked out of him, he gets up and he like succeeds at fighting the bad guy, even if it means not shitting not avoiding a fight and shitting his pants in fear. So like,
that's about it. Like, yeah, he just like protects the priest girl or whatever.
Well, that's like the first thing that happens. But even as the story progresses, which I'm telling you this because A, I read the manga, and B, I was like flipping through the wiki for this to like refresh myself, and like I was like, oh, I remember. Like the second she showed up, I'm like, I remember she gets killed by an angel, and then he brings her back, but bringing her back results in her being a demon, and he's like, oh no, and like that's kind of it, and like now she just hangs out, but like she fell in love with it because he went so far to help her out and shit, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. But like even as the story progresses, it just becomes that with the other girls. Like nothing really changes, I guess. It like, all right. So this season of the anime covers the first 2 volumes of the light novel. So the first one's just them doing the setup, getting Asia, the blonde priestess nun girl, to sort of join the side, and then the second volume is like the last 4 episodes of the season, which I didn't watch mostly because I remembered what it was, and I was like, I'm not super invested in really watching the fight thing. But it just becomes, oh, our leader Grias, she's like engaged to be married to some asshole that she doesn't like, and then Issei was in love with her, but he was like willing to let it go if this is what she wanted. And then like he sees her crying, and he goes like, this isn't what she wants. Fuck it. And then he like does everything he can to beat the fiance and all the other people that he has on his team. So the thing is, the demons have a thing where it's like, oh, I'm a really high class demon, so I can have what is essentially a chess set of people working for me.
Oh my god, I hate that part.
Oh, you hated it?
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like, oh, you're a pawn, but you could become promoted to any piece you want. I'm like,
well, yeah, because it's like just chess. It's just chess. I think it's because we both play chess that we're like, oh, I get it. So it's like, he's the weakest one, but he has the potential to be the greatest.
It's
like,
it's just like so redundant.
It's a lot of other protagonists that are like, I seem like I'm weak, but in the end, it's my ability that will save us all. And that's what I mean by like, I feel like if the fight element of the thing was sort of eliminated or like toned down, then I'd be more into it, because as like I said, as things develop, like he has the other girls fall in love with him and shit, but like that he does like do you remember Shuffle?
Vaguely.
Okay. So Shuffle was another thing about a guy who's just like living a day-to-day life, and he has like a childhood friend, and like his neighbors are Satan and God, and then their daughters are sort of into him. But like Shuffle becomes more about like, because it's a game first and then it became a show and all that other shit. So Shuffle became like learning more about the girls and helping them be comfortable with who they are, and then proving that you'll love them no matter what. And that's sort of what happens every single time he hooks up with the girl in this thing. Like Asya, right? Like remember how she's like she has the sacred gear, and it's like, oh, that means she's like sort of evil but not evil, blah. And that's why the fucking angel wants to kill her, to take the sacred gear and go like, now I'll be strong or whatever the fuck, right? And then he just goes on a whole thing about like, well, see, she's done so much for the church, and you guys are shitting on her, and like I won't allow you to leave her unhappy. And then like, yeah, it's kind of like that. But then like but then later on, like other people, like when he gets into Akeno. Okay, so Akeno's the girl with the ponytail. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. The priestess.
Ponytail lightning. Yeah. So that's the thing about that. So in the show, when she joins the battle to do whatever the fuck she does, she's the queen, right? So she has like a whole bunch of strength, yada yada yada, and magic and all that bullshit. But like my thing was, I don't remember her wearing a Miko outfit in the manga, and I was wondering whether or not that's exclusive to the TV show. And then like,
Probably.
because the light novel doesn't bring it up either. This is what I mean by like I was doing research and like refreshing myself on the wiki and shit. But like, so her thing is, her mother was like a normal person, her father was a fallen angel, and then like after getting her mom knocked up, he like bailed and she died in childbirth. He was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about the kid. Fuck that kid. And so she hates her dad, but she also has these weird wings because she's not entirely a fallen angel. So there's like a part way after they've had the fight with the fallen angels and all that shit, where like she's just hanging out with Issei alone. I forget what the context is. I didn't even write down all the notes because it doesn't matter too much. The point is, they're like hanging out and she's giving him the speech about like her family and why she has so much issues with the fallen angels and shit. And he goes like, "Oh, that's fine." And then she shows her wings, and like I can't remember what they look like, but I remember they didn't look like the regular wings. So like that, I think one of them was like weirdly bat-like or some shit. And then like so she shows her wings, and she goes like, I know that I probably upset you because you hate the fallen angels for all the shit they've done to Asuka and all those other people." And then he goes, "Look, I don't like the fallen angels, but I like you because you're my friend." And then she's like, right, just in. She's just in.
You're my friend. Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. And she goes like, "I don't know if I want to be friends." And like it like and he just keeps doing shit for her, and they become closer and closer. And here's the thing I want to point out. So like I said, I was reading the wiki, and I didn't like skimmed it more than I like, really read it because fuck, I didn't really care all that much. But by the end of where we're at in the books, which I think is like 25 or something, he's married to all of them.
How?
Like he just proposed, and then they were all like cool, and nobody was like, "I don't care." Nobody was like, "But you're married to the other girl." They were all like, "Well, fuck it." Like he
Okay.
proposes to them in different books, and like one of them, so Koneko, the lolly girl, right? So like, her thing is like she's a nekomata, which is like it's like a cat monster, yeah.
Okay.
Which is why her name is Koneko. Koneko being like kitten. So it's like, oh, that's a little overt, but whatever, fuck it. So then it turns out that she has an older sister who she has problems with because like, if she uses her Nekomata power, she might go berserk and yada yada yada. All that shit, right? So then they have a whole thing, and then like Issei helps her out, and then when she uses her fucking Nekomata power, she goes like, he helps her come to terms with like, no, that's part of who you are. And at the end of the day, if you go nuts, I'll be there to help you go back to what you used to be. And then she's like, all right, I'm in. And like I mean, everybody ends up in at some point. And then like they get new friends, which by the way, this is the thing I remember. That like there's one girl who comes in like way later that I actually like her. I'm like, "You're fun." And like her thing also becomes well, at first I thought, do you remember shit. What's the name of that thing? Alright, fuck it. I'll just set up the scenario because this is probably familiar to you. So like guy is kind of strong. Girl is serving under guy. Other guy gets beaten by first guy. She goes, "You're so strong. If we have a kid, that kid will be super buff." Like, you know what I'm talking about? That sound like something you've heard before?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it becomes that, but then he like shows genuine affection for who she is, and she goes, "All right, now I'm in for real." Like before, I just wanted to bone down and drop a kid, but now I want you in my life, and that's kind of it. And then like she was an angel or some shit. Like it's a whole thing. The point is, if we could eliminate the fight part of all of these arcs,
Yeah,
I'd
you're
be
right.
super down.
You're right.
I'd be super down. Like there's this childhood friend who joined the angels, and then he helps her get her shit together, so that she leaves them because she cares more about her memories and friendship with him than the angels. But it still has to lead back to fighting with the angels, and I'm like, if it wasn't that part, and I didn't have to read that for like 15, 20 chapters, I think I'd be super in.
Yeah, it didn't focus on the fighting.
If the
Yeah.
fight didn't last longer, and over time it gets to be more and more and more, like I think I'd be super in. And I think that, so before you were like, I think we know there's only one reason why it got popular. I don't know. What I think it is that you and I don't really like fight things. So we can't get into that, and that's sort of like our reason to go, I don't know. But for people
No, that wasn't the reason why.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I know what you were gonna bring up, the how creepy and like really really direct this show gets. By the way, did you see the censored or uncensored version?
Uncensored.
Okay, I also saw that. Man, nipples everywhere. That's nuts.
First thing you see.
Just like every, I think I have a note here that says, once per episode, girl must shower.
I don't know why Risa has to shower.
I don't
know. No reason, but okay.
I mean, I guess it was like you shower once a day, which I guess whatever. But more my thing was like, she did it knowing that like people would be able to show up. Like, why not, do it at the end of the day or do it before anyone else goes into the fucking building? Well, no, the thing was she was staying there, remember? But that's what I mean. Like, even then, if you're sleeping there, you could just get up earlier than everyone. Because people don't come into the school till a certain hour. You could just do it before the school opens. Or, do it at night. When no one's gonna be around. But, and anyway, she moves in with Issei and it becomes that harem gimmick thing. But yeah, so like, that's probably what I think it's that combined with the fact that it's a fight thing. Because I remember that like lots of people like fight things. Remember, we are the minority insofar that we don't like fight things. I'm trying to picture
them why they would like it. Because not everyone likes every fight thing. But
Yeah. I think it's the romance plus the fight thing combined. And like the edgy stuff that just really sells it. Because like, Nejima is basically romance plus fight thing. And just like this, over time it becomes more fight thing. But Nejima's gigantic. We cannot pretend that show is like just like a footnote in history because of the amount of merch that show has pulled off, the amount of like spin-offs, the fact that mangaka just decided I'm gonna do a new thing and everyone was in on it instantly to the point where it's like getting knocked to the top of rating polls. Like UQ holder, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't really care, but I will see it everywhere whether I like it or not. And that's what I mean by like, I think it's the combination of both of them. And like some people just go, I don't know, maybe it's too dirty for me, and then they just like back off for that. Versus our reason for backing off is the fact that it's a fight thing.
It kind of shows something about us.
Look, we never, I don't think we ever sat here and pretend to be on high moral horses. Look at the shows we're starting with. We're starting with the show that we wanted to get into because the girl was cute. Like, I think they already know who we are.
They get it.
They get it. If you're still here, you get it. Like, I don't fucking think anyone jumped in going like, I don't know, this feels weird. Why do they keep bringing up like all the stuff about the way the girls wear their clothes? It's like, because that's kind of what I focus on. I could give a rat's ass about a fight thing. I'm like, does she genuinely love him? Like, that's more interesting to me.
Yeah.
And that's why
like the backstory.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, if it wasn't for the fact that the fight thing ends up taking precedence eventually, I would be really into this. Because it's basically like, it's like Rosario to Vampire, or like Shuffle.
Yeah.
And I'm really in on both of those things. So yeah.
Okay, did any part stand out to you?
Nah, most of the, you know what? I confused this with something else. Because there's another thing where it's like almost exactly the same thing, even so far as like the main girl has long red hair and shit. But in the other, I wrote powered by boners, ? But that's the other thing, where it's like, oh, my power is amplified by my desire. And then the other guy was like, I really want to see her underwear, and so he gets buff. But this one's different. So like, I wrote that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he went to see her. He went to see her boobs before he died. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a part where he imagines what's their face, Kano and us like doing lesbian stuff, and I just wrote into lesbians ? I didn't know that. So like, there's a scene where he goes on a pseudo date with Asia before he has to go fight. Because I don't remember that, right? And like, there's a part where he's getting the weird Raichu out of the claw machine. Remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. In the background, there's a doll like in another claw machine that looks like Suisei Seki from fucking Rosen Maiden. The doll with the head wrap, the long brown hair, the green dress that says Desu all the time.
I never saw Rose
I
and
know-
Maidens, though.
Rosen Maiden is some weird shit. It's dolls and magic and it's so much shit. The point is, like, I feel like if you saw Suisei Seki right now, you'd recognize her because of how many times people use her as a meme on 4chan and other shit. But like, yeah, I saw that doll. I was like, whoa, hold on. Yeah, fuck what they're doing. Is that looks a lot like Suisei Seki? Like that's what I latched on to. Also, that the priest guy who jumps Asya and tries to beat her up and rape her and shit. His voice is by Yoshitsugu Matsuoka, and fuck, I really liked what he did. Like he was like really weird and
His
goofy.
voice sounds- yeah.
Yeah, like that was fun. Like he's a monster of a person. I don't really give a shit about that. But like the amount of like action and character and weird bullshit to his voice, like he could go from talking to screaming to like being coquettish. It was weird, and I was really into that. I think that's the same kind of reason I like Kobayashi Yu, because like her voice also can go from like talking to yelling to like really mournful, and like in seconds between each other. I think that's fun. And I found out he is the voice of Kirito from fucking SAO. And and also the voice of Soma, the lead from that show, Shokugeki no Soma, the cooking show.
Oh. That's
So
interesting.
he went from this to that. Wow, he's big. He's big now. I don't give a shit. I don't really give much of a shit about SAO. I like Shokugeki no Soma, but I'm not hard on it. Like I don't follow it every week. I used to, but like that was a long time ago. And like yeah, that's mostly because I like cooking. I think I don't even think it has anything to do with the guy's journey. I just like cooking. And episode 7, there's a scene where like they go to a forest to like get familiars because they're demons now, and there's like a slime that eats girls' clothes because yeah, whatever. But I think my favorite thing is that like the guy Yuto, the blonde fella, their friend. It's like he's the knight. He has a sword. He's really fast. That's his thing. And then like while they're goofing around, and they're like, and Issei's like, "Oh boy, look at those girls getting naked right in front of my eyes. This is what I wanted." I think he wrote something like, "I have to save this to my neural hard drive." I have that written here. Some shit like that. And then like
The horse?
no, Issei, the guy.
Oh, you say, okay.
Yeah. He says to himself like, "Oh, I gotta save this in my neural hard drive because the girls are like
yeah,
sick by
okay.
slime who are becoming naked." And I think like my favorite part of that, besides that, is that in the background, you told the blonde guy a slime fell on his eyes, so he's just like swinging around wildly, like panicking, like as if to go like, I have to help my friends, but like he can't see, so he's just randomly swinging everywhere, and he gets stumbling over his feet and shit. Meanwhile, Issei's just like, "Oh, yeah, naked girls. Slime, will you be my familiar? I think together we will be a powerful team." Like, that's the kind of shit he says. And that's kind of it. I didn't really care much for the rest of the show. At least not the beginning. Oh, you know what? One more thing. So like I said, sometimes it's like wacky, goofy hijinks, which the goofy hijinks is usually people ask demons for help. So you get summoned to go do dumb shit, right? So there's one of them where like the guy summons a demon and Issei shows up. He goes like, "Hey, fuck you, you're not Koneko." And he goes like, "Yeah, well, I mean, I got told to take over." He's like, "Damn it." He's like, why do you want her specifically? And he starts like thinking, is this like weird sex stuff? And then what happens is he pulls out like a costume. He goes like, "I usually make her wear this and then carry me." And he goes, "Carry you? Wait, where? What?" And the reason that I remember that isn't because like, "Ooh, that's wacky and funny," or it's because the clothes that he has with what she looks like would make her look like Yuki Nagato from fucking Haruhi Suzumiya. I was like, those are Nagato's clothes, and I was like,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
and I thought about it, and I was like, she does kind of look like Nagato. Oh, is he like a weird otaku who's like, I want Nagata to hold me in her strong buff arms? And I was like, oh, is that the joke? Because if that's a joke, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
If it's like gross otaku who's like fucking I'm probably just gonna say Danganronpa thing because that's the first thing I think of, like kirigiri for life. That's kind of funny because I've met that guy.
Jeez. I guess
I'm just
if they went
yeah,
really hard into it, but I doubt it.
yeah, they only did it like kind of slightly. There's another one's like big buff dude dressed as Maho Shoujo who's like, I want to be a pretty girl, and then he's like, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do for you, and they end up having an argument about the Maho Shoujo show. But like that's kind of it. So yeah, like not a lot to say. I feel like going forward, if there had been less emphasis on the fighting thing and more on the romance thing, I probably could have really gotten into this. But because I know for a fact it puts more emphasis on the fighting thing eventually, I really didn't care much. And the girl I actually liked isn't even here because she doesn't show up till like the 4th book or whatever. From what I learned in my research, the thing about the show is like every season was supposed to be 2 volumes. So the first season was the first 2 volumes. The first one he gets it together, he hangs out with Asya. Second one they find out about other demons doing battles with their chess pieces and whatnot. And then the second season was the 3rd and the 4th book, where like he meets his old childhood friend, and then the other angels show up and fight, and he meets the girl that I like, who's like Zenobia, I think that was her name. I just remember that like I really liked her her weapon looked super cool and shit. And she seemed really nice after he got to know her and stuff. And I was like, I like her the best. But I think, also, Kano says ara ara a lot, which made me go like, you know what? You're okay. For now, there's not much going on with you. But you know what? I like that shit. That's that thing that like older ladies who are like sisterly figures say. I'm in. I like that. Thank you. I like that. That did something for me. And then because I've heard that, I was like, like Azusa, and I was just like thinking about all the girls who did that instead of actually watching the show. I didn't care much for the show at all.
Yeah, me either.
I guess I would like to say a couple of things, but they have more to do with the music and shit that was going on in the background. There's like besides the guy like randomly swinging and tripping over himself like an idiot. There's the first time they introduce Akeno Himedima, and she does the ara ara thing for the first time, and like sort of comes onto him. There's like a smooth jazz saxophone line running under it, and I was like, damn, that's a dope ass saxophone line. That was really cool. It used a lot of chromatic approach tones and stuff. I don't know. That's just me being a music nerd. And like beyond that, the opening is done by Larval Stage Planning, which I know them because they did one of the openings to Bakuto Testo. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they ended up doing the song for this one. Also, the ending thing, which let's talk about the ending thing. You know what do you have to say about the ending thing?
Fan service.
Yeah. So this is one of the few things I knew about High School DxD is that like it's really direct with how sexual it makes things. But like the ending theme, like the credits to it involve like the girls being dressed in stripper clothes and doing dances and stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. And like I said this before the show, but like I really laughed at like the second they started doing just the dance moves, I like paused and I wrote down, ha ha, stripper. I think what I wrote down here literally is stripper dance ed, lol, style lips CG question mark. And then like as it starts playing and then they bust out the pole and start doing tricks, I just the next line is immediately, I was kidding. What the fuck? Because I didn't really think it was gonna be that. I just made it like a little goof to myself. But yeah. Also, so Style Lips, the reason I bring up Style Lips is a four-part voice actress / pop group. And Yui Kaori and Kaori Ishihara, the girls I mentioned who make Yui Kaori like earlier, they are both part of this incarnation of Style Lips, because later on, it's 4 people. It's Yui Kaori, Kaori Ishihara, Arisa Noto, and Maho Matsunaga. And 3 of those people left, and they got replaced by 2 people, making it a trio. So, like, Yui, I already said, fucking Yui Ogura is Yui Ogura is Nene and Ram, and then Kaori Ishihara is Ram and Shota. Arisa Noto, I only know her for being the editor from Mangaka-san to Assistant-san. That's kind of it. And Maho Matsunaga voiced one of the Love Live characters. Erena Todo. Do you remember in the first season of Love Live where they're like watching the show, and there's like one red-headed girl with the barrettes in her hair, and she's like really pushed. She's the leader of that idol trio.
Yeah.
That's Maho Matsunaga. So yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of it for me. I don't have shit to say.
I guess
Do you have-
it's the time. No, I said everything I wanted to say.
Can I just say this is almost as short, if not just barely longer, than our first episode because of how little we had to say about fucking Dagashi Kashi.
I mean, this was a little bit better because it had something like the
It had
minimum.
relationships.
Yeah.
All right, so like now we gotta come up with food. This is tricky for me because I have to think about it as like, oh, I would like this if it didn't have this one element. Like food wise, that
didn't have one element. Would it be
Yeah.
like? Well, do you like mint ice cream?
you know what? I've never really had much of it to form a real opinion.
Uh,
Oh, were you gonna say mint chocolate chip?
Yeah, I hate
You're
that
like-
part.
Oh, that is the opposite of what I was expecting. I thought you were gonna say I like the mint ice cream. I could do without the chocolate chips because mint and chocolate together taste weird. Oh fuck, that's.
I don't like the
Then
mint.
why not? Okay, then why not just have chocolate ice cream?
That's what I'm saying.
I get what
It-
you
that
mean.
one thing.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
gone.
yeah. Once you put it like that, now I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, that works. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, is there anything where, like, I'm like, oh man, this has something to it? Because I feel like ice cream is very light. Like ice cream, you can get away with a lot of it, you know?
Use something thicker, right?
Yeah, I mean, like something that's like a little, because there is something here. The romance as it develops between Issei and all the girls, and like he even marries them and shit. Like he goes like, "I am in love." Like they go through a whole thing based on the description I read in the wiki. So like I didn't read the novel, I just read the wiki. Where it was like, yeah, and then they have a whole moment. I'm like, that sounds like pretty good. If it wasn't for the other parts of it, I would be super in. And that's what I'm thinking of, like something that has a bit of substance, like weight to it. But because of one thing, you're like not that into it.
Well, my original thing was cotton candy.
Explain.
Like you think it has something to it, but at the end it's just like nothing, just air, and it's not helpful
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, okay. But it's pointing me towards something. Okay, I'm gonna be alone on this. I'm gonna be alone, but I don't like maple syrup. Can I say that?
Why?
It feels too sweet to me. Like, you know, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. So when stuff is like too sweet, it feels like way too much.
Yeah, I thought that was me more, but okay.
I mean, like, no. But like our definition of too sweet is different. Because there's me, like stuff that's kind of bitter is still like really workable. Like if I'm going to drink coffee, I'd prefer it to be mostly black. Because I just like the bitter, more acrid taste of the coffee. I don't want it completely black. I want a little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar, but I don't want it to just be sweet. Like I don't like frappuccinos and shit because they're so sweet. And to me, I I really like funnel cake. But you know what I hate? That people drown it in syrup.
So maple syrup
Because
funnel
I
cake.
can't. I can't. No, I mean, that's just how I've seen funnel cake in general. I've yet to see people, like, unless you tell them no maple syrup, they just put it on the funnel cake. Have you had to ask for it? Because I've always just seen
No,
people.
yeah, I had to ask for it. I usually get the powder, the sugar.
I do. I like the powdered sugar. I feel like that's just enough. Okay, so not that then. If that's a bit out of the usual experience.
This is a
rough.
hard one.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad that this is the bulk of our of the episode because we really don't have much else to say. So if this takes a minute, it's fine.
I also feel like the whole reason like people come to the show is because like
It looks nice.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Looks nice. Tastes okay. A bit strong.
It could be better though.
That's what I mean. Like it's a bit like eh. Like there's an element to it that makes you go, I'd be more into it if we didn't have that.
Or you could just say like no, I'm saying like if you added something to it, it would be much better.
Oh.
I think that would be easier to think of.
Okay. Okay. You know what? Cannoli. Check.
I like cannoli.
I love cannoli, but you know what's even better than regular cannoli?
What?
Cannoli with a chocolate dipped shell.
I don't think that works. Because I like
haven't had
cannoli. I don't like the shell.
I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't find it offensive compared to how fucking cripplingly bored I was with like Dagashi Kashi.
Yeah, but
And it has things there that I do like. It's just
Okay,
that I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like it's missing something. And my point is, I could literally just eat the cannoli cream. The shell to me isn't all that great. But when you dip the shell in chocolate and it stops becoming bland, it adds another texture to the overall cream. Because I'll tell you, I know how to make the cream. I've made the cream in my house. I didn't buy shells because I don't fucking really want the shells. But I would want a chocolate covered shell because I've had one of those and it was like completely it was a sort of semi-sweet bitter chocolate, so it added a different texture contrasting against the sweetness of the cream. You get what I'm saying?
so you're saying how like
So
the
the
texture from the shell represents the background of the anime.
Yeah,
you're
okay.
watching.
On top of that, I would say the bland regular shell is the fight part. Because to me, it's kind of boring and uninteresting and not necessary. But if you spice it up, like by adding the semi-sweet chocolate and therefore like recontextualizing it, you could in fact make the narrative overall stronger.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
But do you
not.
feel like a cannoli strong enough for like the whole like relationships and stuff?
Well, that's what I mean. Like that's the cream. That's like what's deep down.
Okay, that's the good part.
And it's being wrapped around in all that stupid bullshit, which is the fight thing that I'm not like super into, which is the shell itself. Because you could just eat the cream. If that's your favorite part of it, then that makes it amazing. And the shell doesn't add anything to it besides presentation.
Okay, that could represent like the
Just the overall
his inner
look. And,
thoughts and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like the cream is the actual like, oh, the romance, the interbalance, like all that shit. And then, if you were to dip the shell in chocolate, vis-a-vis, change the style to be less of a fight thing, maybe more emphasis on the relationships, complement the cream, the actual center of it a lot better, it'd be a lot stronger of a show for us.
Okay.
So, are we good? I
Yeah,
think
that
that's it.
Yeah.
Cannoli, yeah, that works. Alright, regular shell cannoli.
That's a high school DxD.
It was a reach, my man, but the high school DxD is regular shell cannoli.
It could be better.
Could be better, but it's not. I would have been fine with just the cream, but no, I didn't get that.
Or if you change the shell to chocolate.
Or make the shell complement the cream. If we're gonna be using like harem crap, focus on the romance, asshole. Oh no, we're gonna ignore it for the fight thing. Ah, I think that perfectly summarizes my feelings.
Yes.
It took me a minute, but I did it. All right. So yeah, I guess that's it. This was short. Compare this to like the 3 hours we spent talking about how every episode of Nyankoi was kind of a thing.
2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
It felt longer.
Actually, I did edit it. So yeah, it was probably
You totally toned it up. All right. Well, goodbye to you, fair listener. And I mean, you get it.
You guys get it.
You get it. You wouldn't be listening if you didn't get it. Bye-bye.